Welcome back to English from A to Z, English in real life. Today, we are diving into something that might just be the missing piece you've been searching for in your accent training. We're talking about the American English mouth posture, and we're going to figure out how to unlock that natural sound, not by trying harder, but actually by relaxing smarter.
Hey, does this sound familiar at all? You've put in the hours, you've memorized all the sounds, you've done the drills, but your English still feels a little tense, maybe a bit forced. It's like you've hit this wall, where putting in more effort just doesn't seem to be making a difference. Well, what if the problem isn't a lack of effort, but actually where you're putting it?
Okay, let's really get into this, because the main idea we're exploring today is, honestly, a little counterintuitive. The big secret to getting that effortless American sound isn't about forcing your muscles into these new, rigid positions. No, it's about radical relaxation. It's about learning to remove tension you probably didn't even know you were holding on to.
So here's the bottom line. There are two totally different ways to go about this. You can try to force it, which, leads to a tense tongue, a ton of effort, and in the end, a sound that just feels unnatural. Or you can learn to feel it, and that involves a relaxed tongue, way less effort, and a much more natural, native-like quality. Today, we are all about that second column.
But relaxation, that could be a pretty vague word, right? So let's make it real. We're going to break it down into 4 specific, actionable keys. These are the actual physical feelings you need to start focusing on to get this new, relaxed posture.
So key number 1, this one is all about the sides of your tongue. This is a super common trouble spot where so many of us create way too much tension without even realizing it. The goal here is just gentleness. You want the sides of your tongue to just lightly, barely touch your upper teeth. Now here's what's really interesting. Instead of thinking about forcing the sides up, you should feel the middle part of your tongue relax and actually sink lower than the sides. It's such a subtle shift in feeling, but it makes a huge difference in the sound. All right, on to our second key. Now, even if you get the sides of your tongue right, it's really easy to fall into another classic trap, holding all this tension right down the middle of your tongue. And remember, even though the sides are a little higher, they should not be tense. That contact with your teeth should be as light as a feather. You are not pushing into them. And this relaxation should affect the width of your tongue too. You just kind of let it relax inward and feel it sink down into your jaw. It's a feeling of release, not clenching.
Building right on that, our third key is about applying this feeling of relaxation to the entire tongue. The goal is to let go of any tension you might be holding, from the very, very tip all the way to the back.
And this quote just illustrates the point perfectly. A student pointed out that tensing their whole tongue helped them find the posture for a Spanish accent, but it felt like a very tight, small, heavy ball. That is exactly the feeling we want to get rid of. And this is also where feedback becomes so important. You might think you're relaxed, but you really need an outside ear or even just a recording to tell you for sure.
And that brings us to our fourth and final key, which might just be the most important one of all. This is all about the overall height of your tongue inside your mouth. So many of us keep our tongue way too high, especially the back part. And to fix this, you have to connect it to your throat. You need to actively work on removing tension from the top of your throat, which will then allow the back of your tongue to just relax and drop. The feeling should be that your voice is literally falling downward into a more open, resonant space.
Now hold on. Before we jump into the exercises, there is a very important correction to the original teaching on this. So if you've been following this method and you've been struggling, this might be exactly why.
The person behind this explainer was super direct in correcting a previous mistake, which is fantastic, right? It means this information is constantly being refined and tested. That honesty is what's going to help you get it right.
Okay, so here's the change. The hinge point for your tongue position, it's the 4th tooth from the center, not the 5th. So if you've been trying the fifth tooth and it just feels weird or uncomfortable, switch to the fourth. It's a tiny, tiny adjustment, but believe me, it can make all the difference in finding that comfortable, relaxed position.
Okay, so theory is great and all, but how do you actually feel this stuff? Let's move on to 2 special exercises that are designed to help you really internalize this state of relaxation.
So the first exercise is called Relax and Follow the Line. And for this one, you're going to need a partner. Why? Because we often can't hear our own tension. Having someone give you live feedback is just incredibly valuable. And their job isn't to judge you. It's just to guide you based on what they're hearing.
The process is actually pretty simple. You start with a familiar sound from your own language, like ah. As you make that sound, you just focus on relaxing everything, your tongue, your throat, your jaw. Your partner is just listening for that open quality. Then, using a sound map, they'll guide you as you slowly shift that relaxed sound over towards the American ah. It creates this amazing direct link between what you're feeling and what they're hearing.
The second exercise is one you can totally do on your own. It uses a specially designed paragraph that actually removes some of the more complex sounds, like R and L, just to let you focus purely on the posture itself. And this right here, this is the most important instruction for this exercise. Don't worry about perfect pronunciation. Don't stress about, stress or linking words. Your one and only goal is to feel that relaxed, open quality while keeping those 4 keys of posture we just talked about. So to really get the most out of this, you want to shadow the audio recordings that come with the source material and definitely start with the slow version. And I'm going to say it again, forget about perfection. Your entire focus should be on finding and holding onto that feeling of openness and relaxation. The specific sounds, they'll come later, I promise.
So, let's bring this all together. What we've been talking about isn't just a set of exercises. It's a complete shift in your mindset, in your whole approach to accent training.
Here is your new definition. Think of the American accent posture not as some shape you have to force, but as a state you just allow. It's the state of maximum relaxation in your tongue and throat that naturally, automatically results in a low tongue position and that beautiful, open sound we're looking for. And I'm just going to leave you with this question to guide your practice from here on out. Stop trying to build something new on top of your old habits. Instead, ask yourself, what tension can I subtract? What can I just let go of? Because your next big breakthrough might just be an exhale away.